What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTW Podcast, Beers, Toys, Wrasslin. We are on episode 16 this week. I wasn't sure last week, but it is 16. We have the whole crew back this time. So I'm, of course, Nate Gleason, joined by Lance Johnson.
Hello.
Wade Fry. Hello.
Wade's taking your advice to me. Shutting
Yeah,
up.
he is. All right. And back from vacation, Dustin Hayward.
And Rona free.
Rona free. All right. You have the test to back that up?
No.
Okay. Good, because I don't want to be catching anything over this mic here.
Well, depending on how it went, we're either corona-free with a pregnant wife.
It spreads via 5G, folks.
All right. Well, remind me to cancel my next Samsung phone pre-order then. All right. So let's start off. Dustin, tell us about your vacation. How was it?
It was fantastic. You know, ocean, sunshine. We rode a pirate ship.
All right. Maybe.
Oh, I was in Panama City, Florida.
All right. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear you guys were able to get away and stay safe and have a good time. To you guys, how has the week been?
All right. Well, since you usually lead off with me, not too bad. Went to see the in-laws today, and it was nice. They had me come over for a cookout, and then they made me cook, which is kind of standard procedure for them. But it was really nice, and yeah, it was a good time.
Excellent. Did you do anything of significance yesterday on the 4th proper?
Not of significance, no. We just kind of hung out, and I grilled. So back-to-back days grilling, which is always a plus. Prior to that, I think I mentioned last week that I got the 1992 G.I. Joe electronic G.I. Joe headquarters, and I spent pretty much all week washing that, and then I went to put it on the top shelf of my display, and I found 2 hockey pucks that were left for us, apparently, from the prior owners of the house, which is always fun to find on the top shelf of the storage in your basement.
Yeah.
That's better than your wife going, I cleaned that off a week ago. I wonder where those came from.
Yeah. Well, maybe Rebecca climbed up and left them for you.
This is true. She climbed out of the closet.
Wade, how about yourself?
A short week at work. I mean, a paid day off is always a good thing. A good day. I mean, not too many complaints. My son, this is his. He spent a lot of time at his grandma's house. My mom lives like 10 minutes away, so he's getting to go swimming and enjoy the land that they own and stuff like that. And then, the wife and I got time to just do husband and wife stuff. You know what I mean? Be kid free for a little bit. It's always nice. And then I miss him then when he comes back, but we got to go shopping, got to go to the local comic shop, pick up a few things. I can't complain. Sunshine, you know what I mean? Air conditioning's working.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Myself, it was not much going on first half of the week. So we are completely gutting the kitchen here at the house, and so it was time to go pick out new appliances. So got to go fridge, stove, shopping, and actually it's a project we're really looking forward to. Also, yesterday, just did just a very low-key cookout. Let's see, I'm going to send you guys a couple of pictures here. I very successfully smoked a brisket, and I've always had trouble with these things. Wade, you probably know that brisket can be very tricky.
Briskets can go from like, oh man, it's not done, to beef jerky fast. If you don't wrap, if you don't watch, danger.
Yep. Yeah. So I tried out. I haven't been using the plate setter, the kind of like diffusion thing in my big green egg for the past few times, and I really wanted to play around with it more because the first few times I used it, it's been just killing the fire completely. And but I did a whole clean out of the bottom of the firebox and new charcoal, and I tell you, this thing came out perfect. I've also started.
That's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Did you
Me and
wrap
my
it?
wife are gonna head to New Hampshire, and we're gonna come hang out, and you're gonna make us brisket. Cool.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
I mean, I'd go 14 hours to Florida, dude. I'm sure New Hampshire's not a thing.
Oh no, it's all because you're where again?
Indiana.
Indiana, yes. Yeah. It's probably gonna be like a 8-10 hour trip at most for you. Probably not even.
Yeah, somewhere.
No. So if I start the brisket right as you get on the road, probably be done by the time you get here.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So this thing from start to the finish of its rest took 8 hours. And I've started using a probe thermometer, and that has been a game changer. Because now I'm not. Both.
Nate, I love it when you use the probe.
I find taking it orally just is not as accurate. So I gotta wipe off the brown stuff when I take out the probe. But other than that,
the big green egg is definitely like an expert level thing. The wife bought me an electric smoker, and it has an attached probe thermometer, and it comes with like a remote control, so I can plug the probe in and then tell the remote control in my house to alert me when it gets like 165 or whatever we're looking for.
It is. It's awesome, and we're actually thinking about getting a couple peripherals for the egg. About 10 years ago, this company called Fireboss started making a Wi-Fi enabled fan box and probe system that you'd attach to any smoker, really. And the folks at Big Green Egg, about a couple years, came out with their own version of it. So just an easier way to control the temperature without constantly monitoring and having to, fine tune the vents.
Right.
And we love it so much, and when we host, it's just the medium one that we have is too small. So we're looking at getting a second one. Dad's always wanted to do more than what we have on this thing. So but we're looking at getting a large and medium here. And the Lance, you know what I'm talking about. You know that front garden.
Yeah.
As you're walking up the path, kind of to the right with that little pine thing in it. We're looking at ripping that up and just putting down pavers and just making like a super makeshift patio.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing at some point almost like an outdoor brick oven.
Yeah.
To do just whatever I want to do outdoors, from something as small as making s'mores to doing pizza or something on it. But unfortunately, we ran into the AC and then the septic, so that's gonna get pushed off for a while. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but it's gonna get a little bit delayed.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the immediate moment, we're just looking at putting down maybe 8 or 10 pavers so we can at least throw a fire pit in there.
Yep.
And then maybe a few more to just keep the big green egg outside, because right now we're wheeling it in and out of the garage, and the way our garage is set up, it's not easy to just roll something out with the way that the pavement lines up with the garage floor. It sucks.
Nathan, I got a recommendation for you for the next thing for you to smoke.
Okay.
You got to have some time. If you can call a butcher shop and get them to get you a pork belly, you can smoke your own bacon.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that, because McKinnon's, the local kind of big meat shop by me, had huge pork bellies. Just when I grabbed the brisket, so it was only 4 days ago. Yeah, that would be tricky, because that requires almost more of a cold smoke than anything else. Like, you need to keep your temps really, really low.
Well, you could do that. I mean, like, but also doesn't require a lot of smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, like, we did it. A cousin and I did it on a charcoal grill. You know what I mean? Smoked it for 4 or 5 hours, and then once we let it rest, then sliced it, then fried it. We ate the whole thing. Like, it sucked that it was smoked and eaten in a day.
Yeah, now that I've played around with this whole plate setter thing more, I want to try doing lower, longer smokes, especially with like pork. But if you can get like an 8-hour, 9-hour smoke on that, really, really be able to break down that connective tissue. That's that's the oh yeah. Oh. For people who don't know, Wade sent me pictures of butts, and
the pork butt on the left, I bought like pink Himalayan sea salt, and after I cleaned and trimmed it, I just did nothing but I rolled the whole thing in pink Himalayan sea salt, and it turned out really good.
We use our own rub. I feel like I told you guys about this, and I can't remember whether it was whether we were recording or whether it was just kind of in a random conversation we were having. But my folks were invited to a pro barbecue circuit down in Memphis, and it's kind of crazy there. Like, you have to stay at the tents that you're invited to. They don't want people going out getting secrets and stuff like that. So it's intense. But the guy who invited them down gave. Say again, Dustin?
It said literally, it's intense.
Yep. Yes. Okay. Haha.
Got
okay. Go sit in your corner of shame, Dustin.
I'll wear my cone proudly.
Yep.
You told me to talk more. This is what you get.
This is what I get. It's my own. It's my own fault.
Reap what you sow.
But yeah, so this guy gave my folks his secret rub recipe, and we've been using that for the past 15 years. And it's just paprika, a bunch of spices, sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of pepper, and it's just wonderful. So that's what we've been doing like on almost everything. So yeah, so that was our fourth, a killer brisket. Ma did some oven ribs and had a rack left over, so I just threw those on with the remaining fire on the smoker, and it's hard to go wrong with the big green egg. It's just so awesome. So that was the week and the fourth in a nutshell. So what's everybody drinking tonight?
I have Lipton Pure Leaf sweet tea.
Ew.
Hey, it's a Sunday, and I gotta work in the morning.
I know, but you don't make your own sweet tea?
No, I'm from the Northeast.
I'm from the Midwest, and I make my own sweet tea.
That's your prerogative, man. I'm from the Northeast. I ain't got time for that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It's prime to make your own sweet. We were talking about it at my parents' house today. That it's an art form. You have to learn, you know what I mean, the amount of sugar you like and stuff like that. But it's not that I don't enjoy when I have the gas station or something like that to pick up a bottle real quick, but to make my own is divine.
Which is perfectly fine. I will be perfectly honest with you. The reason that I buy it is because there's not a lot of point or to me making my own, since my wife hates anything that's not extremely watered down. She'll make your standard powdered iced tea, right? She'll make a 1/4 amount in a 2-quart jug because it's got to be watered down. Why?
Yes, that's buds.
I don't know. I don't know. I love her. I don't know. It befuddles me completely.
Whatever.
You sound offended, Wade.
I am offended. I'm very offended.
Well,
I don't.
Wait, you can take it up with my wife.
Well, you give me her number and I'll get hold of her right now.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear Wade yelling at a pregnant woman.
Oh,
Especially,
that makes it double.
my wife. This should be going over very, very well.
Yeah. Yep. So this is next week on the BTW podcast, The Fallout.
AKA
So
my divorce.
next week we're doing the horse episode with your wife.
I don't know if she's coming. No, she's not coming on, and I'll tell you why. Because next week is Briarfest, so they're doing it virtually. So she is going to have to be signed into her phone, her computer, and probably her tablet all weekend to buy model horses. So I don't think we're going to be able to get anybody next weekend because they're all going to be doing the exact same thing.
Well, maybe so after Briarfest though, we need to do an episode just solely on it because there's gold. There's gold in them stories, and it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. Wade, how about yourself? What do you want tonight?
Oh, homemade sweet tea, for being honest.
Oh, that is
there was a barbecue with my stepdad's business partner. They own a construction company together. Is in town from Arizona. Him and his wife and their kids, and they're full-blooded Mexican. And it's funny because his wife, they've come over before, and I've made them sweet tea, and his wife has been trying to make the sweet tea that I make, and even her kids say, "You don't make it like Wade makes it. Make it the way Wade makes it." And she gets upset that she just does not have the touch. So we've been over there the past couple nights, and she's been learning to make sweet tea. My mom's been helping her, and I've been dabbling as well.
Nothing like that Midwest sweet tea.
No, listen. It's fun. I'm from the Midwest, but my family are actually the Hatfields from the Hatfields boys. Like there's a family reunion down in the Holler in West Virginia every year. Like so, it's like we're as southern could be.
That's kind of awesome, actually.
Right. So as far as like hillbilly food and stuff like that goes, we can do it pretty well. I'm the first one in my family, I think, to really give a hand at true barbecuing, aka like not on a grill, but everybody else. We were just talking today about how I miss my grandma making like macaroni and tomatoes and fried corn and homemade cornbread and all that stuff. The hillbilly, as you call it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you so do you have a cornbread recipe that you already swear by?
No, like I said, my I don't make cornbread, not yet. But my mom, I think my mom has the family recipe right now.
So here's what I'm going to suggest. Just look it up. To see what you think of it. Are you familiar with any of the people on Food Network?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ree Drummond, Pioneer Woman.
Yep.
She has a skillet cornbread recipe.
Okay.
I've stopped looking. Because of that, I have stopped looking. It's so good. It's a wonderful base recipe. So yesterday with mine, what I did is I just threw 3 jalapenos in a food processor just to chop them up real quick and toss them in. I've done that with cheese and corn, and you could it's a wonderful base recipe, and it's so good. Here in the Northeast, it's more common to see sweeter cornbreads. So for my dad, I started throwing in a bunch of Splenda and stuff in there. And it's just, like I said, it's just a wonderful canvas of a recipe.
Okay.
And run with it.
Yeah. As far as Food Network talent goes, Giada is my Giada is the goddess.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's not that I have anyone, but if there were a hall pass type situation, she'd be on it.
Giada would be it, huh?
So check that out. Dustin, how about yourself? What do you want tonight?
Just drinking some Diet Coke tonight. But my trip down to Florida gave me a newfound love of White Claw.
Ain't no laws, baby. Ain't no laws.
Hey, dude, it's 0 carbs and 0 sugar. Can't be mad at it.
No, trust me. I know plenty of people who have gotten themselves completely far gone on White Claws. So
I can see how it happens. It doesn't even taste like it's got alcohol in it. It's crazy.
Exactly. I mean, you take that a friend of mine used to just take down a case at a time, and you don't know you're drinking. It's
yeah.
And look, I hate to admit it, but yeah, they're pretty tasty. So myself, I went bougie tonight just to play around with my newly put together liquor shelf. I did a kind of a riff on our Manhattan. It's a recipe I got from a local joint here, and the name is wonderful. The cocktail name is Any Port in a Storm. Yep. But basically, it's just a Manhattan made with port wine instead of sweet vermouth. And you throw in
stuff.
Say again?
So port wine is some strong. My wife cooks with port wine. Port wine is some strong stuff.
Yep. Well, you only use an ounce of it in the cocktail, so it's not it's not a ton. And the thing that sets this cocktail off is you top it with chocolate bitters. And it's just wonderful. It's one of those things where it just, between the port and the bitters, it smooths out that bite from the bourbon, and which is Basil Hayden Dark Rye, by the way. And it goes down. You could drink a couple of these, and then your night would be done.
No, that's how I feel about the perfect margarita at Applebee's. I know it sounds a little crazy. I know it sounds all like a bougie stretch, a little white trash for drink, but a perfect margarita at Applebee's, like 1 turns into 3 real fast.
Oh yeah, yep. So yeah, I'll probably be making a second one tonight because it's not like I'm going anywhere. So
Tell you what, Nate, I'll join you for a drink. I got some proper 12 Irish whiskey here. I'll pour myself a glass.
hell yeah.
Conor McGregor approves.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
I spent months looking for it when it first came out, and I ended up finding it like in Kroger grocery store of all places. So now I got 3/5, two rock tequilas and one Conor McGregor whiskey in my refrigerator.
I still am hoping, in New Hampshire, the state controls the sale and stock of liquor. So basically, what New Hampshire decides to get is what you can buy, and I'm really hoping that that they start carrying that Terramana tequila, so I can at least buy a bottle to check it out.
You know what you might want to do, Nate, is you might want to... So, while, yes, New Hampshire does for liquor control what the state as a whole gets, they also do special orders. So you can go to a state liquor store and you can see if you can get a special order. Sometimes, depending on the availability and the cost effectiveness, they can get you just a bottle. Sometimes they have to get you a case. But you can go and ask, and they might be able to do something special order for you.
And you know what? I did not realize that actually. So I may check that out and see what they can do, because there's also there's a newer coffee liqueur on the market called Mr. Black, and New Hampshire has yet to get that in. I've wanted to try it because it's not at all like tequila. They don't add tons of sugar to it. I mean, it's a liqueur, so yes, there is sugar in it, but it's not overly sweet, so I've been told.
Well, if I go locally and find it in Terramana, you want me to get you a bottle of each and send it to you?
I mean, what would shipping be like? Because I know you kind of have to pay for shipping alcohol. Like, at least, as far as I'm concerned, you have to pay like extra to ship it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can ship it.
Yeah. To New Hampshire, I'm not sure that you can.
I don't think you can ship it across state lines.
Yeah. But also, and Lance, you might be familiar, but there's a place in Burlington called Total Wine.
I haven't been there yet, but I have heard about it.
But it's basically one of the Northeast's largest liquor stores, and Massachusetts has no regulations. I greatly appreciate the offer, Wade, but I will sooner or later find it.
Okay, because there's also, like, you can go to the Terramana website and put in your zip, and it'll tell you if there's any around you.
Well, and that's how I found out that it's at that Total Wine place, because I did that. And it's just they're not in New Hampshire yet. I mean, if I had to guess, because it wasn't long after it came out, they started carrying Aviation Gin, which is Ryan Reynolds' gin. Yeah.
Okay.
And that I picked up a bottle of. Kind of regret it. But yeah. So I think, with someone like The Rock behind it, I think it won't be way too long before they get that in.
They might be, and if they get, so the way that it was explained to me, because I ran into the same situation with Town Branch Bourbon, right? I found it when I was down in Kentucky, and they didn't have it here. But if you go and you ask them, the more people that ask them for stuff, the more likely they're gonna bring stuff in too. So if you have a number of bartender friends that say want to go and potentially want to serve it, that's definitely something that you can pitch to them to go and ask at the liquor store, and if there's enough demand, they may end up starting to carry it on a regular basis.
I mean, because I'm Googling it, and there's even online liquor stores that will mail it to you.
Interesting.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, rather, the shipping costs to New Hampshire are very prohibitive when it comes to alcohol because all sales are state regulated.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you know what? I'll go on there. I'll go on their Finder tonight and just see where they're at. And again, I mean, I know you told us yourself that it's it's nothing extraordinary. Just kind of, you said, as I recall, it's kind of like a middle tier tequila.
With all of my tequila knowledge, absolutely.
So yeah, anyway, we'll find it eventually. So where do we want to go on from? Yeah, should we dive into the toy stuff?
I would say so.
All right. I'll lead this off. I have a purchase that I'll let you guys know of that should be coming next week, from our very own Dustin Hayward.
That's bad.
And so aside from that, I didn't get anything. However, I did want to talk about this, and we've talked about it a little bit before, and that is the Hasbro QC stuff. So I opened up my Seeker 2-pack that I got last week. Was that last week or week before?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So week before last. And my Thundercracker has a very common affliction, and that is when you turn it into jet mode, the wing essentially falls off. Like it's got to be mismolding in the joint there, and it just kind of kills the figure for me a little bit. It doesn't peg in correctly. If you look at it the wrong way, it just kind of falls right off. And that sucks because this 2-pack, everyone knows how difficult it is to get for the immediate moment. I'd like to think that it's going to hit big time distribution, kind of like the Rainmaker pack, and it'll eventually just crowd shelves. And I've actually thought about contacting Hasbro on this one. A mutual friend of Lance's and myself did that for the G.I. Joe lines, and they came through and gave him some stuff for it. But I at least want them to know about this problem. And I've never before reported QC issues with them because 9 times out of 10, I can go out, I can get a new figure, I can do my repairs and return the other one as a damaged product so it doesn't get put back out on the shelves. Case in point, most recent case in point is Grapple. Not because of that breakage issue that is widespread, but mine had an arm that would just held no tension whatsoever. So I got another one. I knocked out the pin, replaced it, and then just returned the other one as a damaged product. So it'll get shipped back to Hasbro. So usually that's all I have to deal with if there's a sizable QC issue. This is harder because it's a retailer exclusive, and I feel like if you're going to do that, you really need to make sure that your product's up to snuff. I've heard a lot of other people having a problem, kind of like a 50-50 split. Lance, you said you haven't even tried to transform yours.
And there's a very, very simple reason. So I got Earthrise Starscream, and I got it, and I really, really liked the way that it looked. I took it out of the package, I went and I transformed it, and I noticed immediately some paint rub with the red paint. Now, being a customizer of figures, I know red paint is a pain in the ass. When I got Thundercracker and Skywarp, that silver paint looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like running into any paint rub damage issues, so I'm just not going to transform them. I've transformed Starscream. I know how the transformation is supposed to work, and I just am leaving them, or Thundercracker and Skywarp, in robot mode because I don't want to have, even though you're not going to notice the paint rub on Starscream unless you really look. And if it were something that I were going to play with, say like my son would, that's fine. But if it's something that I'm displaying, I don't necessarily want that.
Yeah, and you can check the wing issue on yours without transforming it. All you have to, because you know how it's kind of like it's like the classics. It's two joint. It's two joints.
Yeah.
It's that one. So all you have to do is kind of bend back the wing, and when you kind of fold the swiveling part of the wing from that other joint there, you'll know immediately whether you have the issue or not. But yeah, for me, I love having these things. I love being able to display them in both F-15 and bot mode because I love the jets. I have them lined up here on my desk right now in jet mode, just praying and hoping there's not a small gust of wind that's going to knock off Thundercracker's wing here at this point. And they just look so damn good.
They really do.
And it sucks that this prevents it from being
one for you.
So that's the issue that I've run into this week, and there are, like I was talking about, our mutual friend. He had massive problems with the new G.I. Joe figures, and they, you know what, he wrote to them, and they sent him an Ecto 1 Transformer, which I thought was kind of funny. Wasn't even along the same line that he had problems with.
Well, so Hasbro if they decide to send you a new figure, right? Because I had sort of a QC issue when I got Hex Wrench, and I think I talked about it last week. But Hasbro, they say they'll send you something of equal value.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got 3 G.I. Joes. They're about $60 a pop. I don't know how many he actually complained about. I think it was only... No, he had issues he had issues with 3 of them. So they sent him Ecto 1's, what, like a $50 figure, roughly?
Yeah, I think they rounded up to call it a $60 thing, but...
Yeah. So, I mean, when you think about it like that, it's fine. Not that he was looking at getting that Ecto 1 at all, but, I mean, they're giving him something of equal value.
Yeah. And I'm not trying, as our friend Dacre said, he's like, hey, guys, he called himself a Karen and said, here's how this played out for me. And it's not that necessarily that I want to be a Karen. It's that this is an issue they should know about.
You want to be Bailey is what you really want to do.
I want to, I want to chop my hair and complain all the time, and most of all, I want to be next to Sasha Banks a lot.
Calm down now. Sammy Guevara got in trouble for saying stuff about Sasha Banks. Be Sammy.
I don't think Nate's too worried about being canceled.
This is probably true. Currently, I don't believe we have a legal department. So any letter sent to our legal department would just disappear.
Right. Nate's our legal department. Or Dustin's our legal department.
He's our legal department too? Oh boy.
I don't know if I signed up for that.
Well, you're really shitting the bed as our music department, so You're gonna have to pick.
Nope.
No. Fine. Now you're both. Congratulations. Played yourself.